Now, the stats tell us that most of you have had a COVID, and fair enough, especially if you're vulnerable or if you've got a pre-existing condition or if you're on the high side of 60. We know diminish the risk of serious illness from COVID. But there'll be many of you who got your shots very reluctantly. You had to get your jabs to go to work. You were forced by mandates to get COVID shots. These, as you know, applied to police, to teachers, to firefighters, to surf lifesavers, airline workers, so many people in so many workplaces, which is why it was astonishing to hear this nonsense from a senior representative last week under questioning from Senator Pauline Hanson.
Dr. Theroux, you actually made a comment that no one was forced to have. You must have been fully aware that people, nurses, doctors, people to have their jobs, to keep their jobs, were forced to have the. Now, do you retract your statement that they were not forced?
Senator, no, I believe firmly that nobody was forced to have a. Mandates or vaccine requirements are determined by governments and health authorities. I believe everybody was offered an opportunity to get or not get a vaccine. I don't believe that anybody was forced to take a.
A lot of Australians will disagree with you on that one.
Remember, there are many people who did exercise their personal rights over their own bodies and refused to get, and then they lost their jobs. There are still people out of work in this country now because of their status. It's unfair, it's illiberal, it's indefensible, and it's going on for hundreds of Australians as we speak. This is how our leaders have treated us.
These mandates, these requirements, just push people to do what needs to be done. And I'm not here to apologise for that.
I want to say very clearly that if you're not vaccinated, you will not have the freedom or the freedoms that people have.
This is the pandemic of the unvaccinated, and if you are unvaccinated, you are going to be vulnerable.
Employees will be required to provide their employer with evidence that they are fully. Employers will be required to keep a record of the evidence, and authorised officers will run spot checks to ensure compliance is occurring.
Yeah, and now Pfizer and others say no one was forced to get the jab. What a deceit.
Get the jab or risk losing your job. That's the ultimatum facing hundreds of thousands of essential workers tonight.
I believe everybody was offered an opportunity to get a vaccine, not get a vaccine. I don't believe that anybody was forced to take.
Coercion is not consent, but that won't matter for authorised workers if they want to keep their job.
Well, then they won't be going to work.
Nobody was forced to have a vaccine.
If you make the judgment to not get vaccinated and you reckon you can wait out us or the publican or whoever you want to think you're waiting out.
Nobody was forced to have a.
Life will become very difficult for the unvaccinated from January 31. No gym, no yoga classes. No gigs, no dance floors, no hospital or aged care visits.
Nobody was forced to have a.
Message snuffed out at Moonee Ponds, Knox and Mordialloc by police.
I'm not taking lectures on freedom.
If an employer allows an staff member on site, they can be fined more than $21,000 and the business will be hit with almost a $110,000 fine. Workers who falsely claim they've had the jab will wear a $10,000 fine.
Nobody was forced to have a.
About some people not wanting to take vaccine.
Nobody was forced to have a vaccine.
If you think you can not have a vaccine just because you don't want to have a vaccine, what a hide you have, what a ridiculous position is that?
Don't play that game of let's just wait them out and then we'll be able to do everything we want to do and have not got jabbed. No, that will not be the case here.
A little bit controversial, the mandate, because some people, they feel very active and stronger to the mandate, but also on the other hand, it works. They put a mandate. Actually, they put mandate if you don't get vaccinated, you're above 60 years old, €100 per month penalty.
It's a fine.
It's a fine, because they work. I've seen it. Even at Pfizer, we had to make a mandate to ask our people, and although we were at 90%, but this 90 was not moving, and it moved to 97%.
You got it up to what?
97. So it's a very big deal.
Nobody was forced to have a
A lot of Australians will disagree with you on that one.